You're welcome to the Policy Council. My name is Okweme Agbaje. Today we x-ray the media through the lens of one of its leaders. We assess the media, we assess the country itself, the state of its democracy, the state of its polity. And we form a common view about what indeed Nigeria should be talking about. Enjoy the program. You're welcome back. It's still the Policy Council, and I'm discussing with one of the top media people in the country, and we're focused on the state of the media. My guest is the president of the Nigerian Guild of Editors, is of course also the deputy managing director of one of Nigeria's national newspapers, The Sun, Mr. Debo Adeshina. You're welcome to the Policy Council.
Thank you.
We're happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Let me start from where I think would be obvious, given the fact that you just had what I thought from outside was a successful conference.
Thank you.
In Asaba Delta State.
Yes.
And you focused on, surprising for me, it was an unusual subject because those that were gathered were not economists or policymakers, but the media. You focused on Nigeria, what did you call it? Beyond oil. Why did you choose that theme for your conference?
Yes, I'd like to say that was our 9th conference as Nigeria Guild of Editors, and right from the first one to this 9th, and I think going forward, we want to look at issues that are germane in the polity, issues that affect the country. While doing that, we have a session to look at our own profession. But then generally we have an umbrella topic or theme which is national, which is about the country. It could be political, it could be economic, it could be social. But then that's how it has been, and I think that's how it may be.
Continue.
Yes.
But in that particular theme, Nigeria Beyond Oil, I noticed a congruence between it and the focus of the Delta State government that was your host.
Yes.
Why did you think, because I mean, some of us who are economists have been worried by this, we've been worried about our over-dependence on oil, the fact that we have under-optimized other opportunities, solid minerals, infrastructure, transportation, tourism, all of those other things. So what was the trend of thought that led you to that particular topic?
Yes, I would say developments in Africa and developments in the world.
Okay.
There was a time that on the African continent, if you wanted to talk about those who had oil, you talked about Nigeria, Algeria, Libya, Gabon, Angola. But beyond that, now you are talking of Ghana, Cameroon, Kenya, Uganda, and all that. That's a very significant development. And then look at the world again. Look at America, shale oil and gas. America is our biggest customer, the consumer oil. Now America has got shale oil and gas. That shows you that very soon they wouldn't need our oil again. President Obama was in Zimbabwe? Where was it recently? Somewhere on the African continent. South Africa. And he said America wouldn't be needing power from Africa again very soon. It's something to worry about. Nigeria is a monoproduct economy. It's only oil that we export. All other things we import. And if suddenly we can't sell our oil again, do we begin to drink it? So we felt it was a serious issue enough for us to look at.
I noticed it was very well attended. I saw the secretary to the federal government. I saw several state governors.
Yes.
Did you get the impression, I'm asking your personal opinion now, did you get the impression that that message of the dangers to the Nigerian political economy with our reliance on oil, do you get the impression that message sunk in? Yes.
One reason why we invited them in the first place was that, so that the message will get across. We could easily have said, well, it's a media conference, we look at a theme that is restricted to the media and we just do our thing. But no, we wanted something socio-economic, and that was why we asked them to come.
Okay.
The Secretary to the Federal Government, Chief Ayim Sanyim, in his goodwill message, also harped on the dangers the country will face very soon if oil became something that we couldn't sell again. So I believe the message got across. Well, it got across. A number of ministers were there. Minister of Agri was there. Minister of Information was there. And the Minister of Tourism was represented by one of his directors. And the message, I'm sure, got across.
Okay. Okay, so the Guild of Editors is doing Nigeria an important economic service, because some of us have wondered why Nigeria has chosen, even the agriculture that we were feeding on, even the solid minerals, the mines and all of that, all of these other things we saw. And the whole of the Nigerian debate has been over how to share the proceeds of oil. Let's take a short time out. I'll be back with Mr. Femi Adeshina, President of the Nigerian Guild of Editors, Deputy Managing Director of The Sun, leading Nigerian journalists. We'll be right back. You're welcome back. It's still the Policy Council, and we're still talking the media with the President of the Editors in Nigeria. Mr. Adeshina, let me ask you, coming back home, many people are critical of the media, and I'm sure you probably get some of that feedback. And so let me start from your own assessment. Yeah. What's your assessment of the state of the media in terms of its professionalism, the quality, the ethics, and all of that? What's your view?
I'll say Nigeria media is quite vibrant. It's quite professional. It's quite capable, and is doing the polity a world of good. But then I also agree and admit that you have bad eggs in every profession. You have bad soldiers. You have bad politicians. You have bad pastors.
And we've been seeing a lot about that.
And bad imams.
Yes.
You have bad eggs in every politician, in every profession.
In short, we have bad human beings.
Well, I guess that is why the devil is in the world, to make sure human beings are bad. So you have this in every profession. And I agree that, yes, in the media, we could clean up. Better, we could clean up. But by and large, the Nigerian media is solid.
I agree. I mean, tangentially, I may, some people may actually consider me a part of the media, even though I've regarded myself as an outsider in the media. But let me ask your view about something I have noticed. Yeah. If you ask, and I use this to draw attention to a particular phenomenon I noticed in the media. If you ask most Nigerians, I noticed recently, for instance, in the ASU strike, one of the points ASU was making was that 25%, how can they say they don't have money when they spend 25% of the national budget on the National Assembly? Now, I've noticed that statement recurs for many people. Now, that statement is not true.
Okay.
I happen to know for a fact that Nigeria spends 3 to 4% of its annual budget on the National Assembly. But most Nigerians believe that that statement is a statement of facts. Why do they believe it? Because the CBN governor made that statement one day. And the entire Nigerian media reported it in an uncritical manner and reported it as facts. And even though I wrote a column saying, no, I agree that this National Assembly people are whatever you call them, but it's not a statement of fact. If you take capital, their capital is 1%.
Okay.
As of the time that controversy was going on, it may have changed slightly. If you take recurrent, their recurrent expenditure is 5%. If you take overall, all they get is 3% of the national budget. Okay. I'm using that as an example of a phenomenon I call homogeneous reporting. Once we take a view, there's very little. I can point that out in several other instances. So say the reporting of the Rivers crisis, which is recent. Say the reporting of any other thing, Boko Haram. So I'm asking, do we have critical reporting? Do we have investigative reporting? Can we, when we talk about, say, Imam Shekau, we're all waiting for government to tell us whether he's dead
or not.
is it the role of the media, as in other places, to investigate these things, to enlighten the public, to bring out things that government would have, we basically now wait? So what would be your comment on this phenomenon?
Yes, thank you. It's what I call the bloodhound instinct in the media. Whenever anything breaks, it's like a bloodhound smelling blood, or just like a shark that smells blood. It can travel many miles in water till it gets to the source of that blood and it devours the thing, and then after that it loses interest waiting for the next prey or victim. The media also operates that way. Something breaks, we swoop in. While we're having our fill, another thing breaks, we lose interest in that. We move to the next one. And you see, Nigeria, curiously, is a place that gives you more than enough. More than enough. More than enough. While you are on one, you are yet to get to the bottom of it, something else happens, and it diverts your attention. But when your attention is diverted, unfortunately, the media leaves that issue. It leaves it completely. And I think that is where we can do better.
Okay.
Where we can do better, we can ensure that some matters are never ended till they really end.
I can make another example. How much does a senator earn? There should be a journalist in the media should have reported categorically on that.
It's difficult. I'll tell you, there was a newspaper that crusaded on that a couple of years back, to be precise, The Punch. They kept doing front page stories on how much our national legislators earn. At the end of the day, the truth was not unearthed, and we have moved on to other things. So in Nigeria, it is often very difficult to get certain kind of information.
I understand the limitations.
Yes.
Let's take a short time out. I'm enjoying my discourse with a leading light of the media, president of the Guild of Editors, Mr. Femi Adeshina. We'll be right back.
Who knows Abi better thing? Abi who no like better thing? All these fine things where they see so. Now money government they take do now. Abi, I saying it's like, I mean, excuse me, I dey pay my tax. I dey do it, I dey pay my tax. Say you don't pay your own tax. If you pay your tax, I pay. Oh.
Pay your tax. It's your civic responsibility. It's your duty. It's the law.
You're welcome back. It's the Policy Council. We're discussing the media with one of its leaders, Mr. Femi Adeshina. We talk about the media, and now everybody, there's a recognition that there's traditional media, which is probably what you lead.
Yes.
But whether you like it or not, some insurgents have come into your profession called social media. And the bloggers, the people who have websites, news medias, they never trained in any journalism school. They don't have any professional ethics except their own, whatever they deem to be their own ethics. But they are reaching probably more wider audience than that. What's your thought about social media, first of all?
I'll say it is a double-edged sword. It has its good side, it has its bad side. Well, to use your word, you call them insurgents, but I'll tell you that we don't see them like that, because in Asaba, we did an induction of new members of the Nigeria Guild of Editors, and some people from social media were there.
Really?
How do we take in new members into the guild? We have they apply. We have a screening committee that screens them. And in the last set, some people from social media applied. And because we have a constitution that stipulates what you must be before you can be a member of the guild, we looked at their track record. We looked at where they were coming from, what they had attained, positions they had held and all that before they went into social media. And those that fitted the bill were taken in. So that already shows you that we don't see them as outsiders. Social media has its positive side. Now, let's imagine the Arab Spring. What will have happened to the Arab Spring without social media? That revolution may not have worked. And see what was achieved in different countries through social media. The social media is good in terms of information dissemination, in terms of mobilizing the people, in terms of carrying the people along. See what President Obama did with the social media in America. Even our own President Jonathan, he used the social media. In fact, the announcement that he was going to run as president came on social media. So it has its uses. But then I tell you, there are many negative sides. What does it take to be a journalist on social media now? Just set up a blog. Whether you are trained or not, whether you know the beginning or end of journalism, whether you know the ABC of the profession or not, just set up a blog and you can post things online.
And sometimes you can incite social crisis.
You can say it again. I know one person, prominent man in society, influential, but is a very unhappy man today. What is the issue? Somebody posted something about him online, and it turned out that the thing was completely false and unfounded. And he told me that any day anybody Googles his name now, that is the first thing that comes up about him.
Wow.
Very unhappy man. He told me, what can I do about this? The people that put him online, he doesn't even know their address, he cannot go to court, he cannot sue them. So that is one disadvantage of social media. And I think it's something that the country...
We need to find institutional
mechanisms. There must be a way to clean up the social media.
Okay, interesting. Let's talk about the country itself, beyond the media. The media, you can't divorce the media from the country. You lead the debates that shapes the destiny of the country. Well, first, let me ask you, we assess the media, but let's make it a different question. Let's assess the country, the state of its democracy, the state of its politics, from your point of view as a leader in the media.
Yes, we are supposed to be in a democratic rule. Some people say it is still civilian rule, that the real democratic rule is yet to come. I pray and hope that very soon we will get there. 14 years we have had this democracy, in quote now. But I believe that this democracy could have served us a lot better.
Could have done better.
We'll
take details, Mr. Adeshina. Let's take a short time out and we'll be right back.
Government wants our city to become a mega modern city. And so, government is providing modern markets for us to carry out our business. Now, this requires money. So, we need to pay our taxes to help government to help us. I pay my taxes. I hope you've paid yours. I pay. Pay your tax. It's your civic responsibility. It's your duty. It's the law.
Welcome back. It's the Policy Council, and Mr. Adeshina, who's the president of the Nigerian Guild of you were telling us that we've been doing civilian rule, which is slightly different from democracy. Can you explain? Can you shed a little bit light on that?
Yes, we know that Nigeria for a long time was under military rule.
Yes, sir.
By the 1990s, we began to agitate and hanker after democracy. You will see that the 1993 election in which Abiola ran with King Ibe, it was even a Muslim ticket, something unheard of in Nigeria. But we accepted it because we wanted the military out. We took it. It ended in a fiasco like it did. And then Abacha came in, yet we continued to agitate for democratic rule until we had it in 1999. But then democracy has its own characteristics. It had its trappings. It had its what they call the dividends. 14 years later, not too many of those are evident. Maybe because the first 8 years of our so-called democracy, we had a man who was a former military head of state running the show. So he couldn't quite distinguish between what was democracy and what was autocracy. It was more of an autocratic regime under Olusegun Obasanjo, and it lasted for 8 years. Umaru Yar'Adua came, good man, would have been a good president, but he was limited by his health. And he was there till he died. And then came the current president, who now has done 2 years of his own full term. I think we are still transiting. We are transiting. And I hope eventually, it could be in 2015, it could be in 2019, we'll complete the circle and have true democracy. Democracy in which the people are served. Yar'Adua came and said he was going to be a servant leader. Very good concept. He said he will obey the rule of law. Very good concept. But then we knew that his health did him in. Yes. If we, by the time we have all that, a servant leader, somebody who is determined to really make a difference in the lives of the people. Because I tell you, between 1999 and now, can we say the lives of Nigerians are better?
The statistics show categorically that poverty has increased,
unemployment
has increased, inequality has widened, and those are
exactly.
And yet, God's domestic product has increased fivefold. So the economy has grown fivefold, but the people have become poor.
Exactly.
And that cannot be what democracy
is. It cannot be what democracy is about until the lives of the people are better. Until democracy touches them, touches their socio-economic and political life, domestic life, professional life, touches the whole gamut of their being. We cannot say.
Let me draw your attention to one aspect of the type of democracy we have practiced. And as it seems like as we move towards 2015, it was the same in 2011. The debate has not been about the welfare of the people. The debate has been about it's north, it's south, the Niger Delta. It's been a regional debate about control of power rather than a debate about the welfare of the people.
I don't see it getting better between now and 2015. Unfortunately, Nigeria has never been more fractured, never been more factionalized than now. Ethnic sentiments run very high, very, very high. It will not get better, at least not before 2015. The 2015 race is going to be run on the plank of ethnicity and religion. Those two things will matter. It is bad. It is sad for our country.
But that's the current reality.
That is the current reality.
What can we do as media? What can we do to change or at least to influence that debate in a more positive direction?
Yes. What we can do as media is also to draw people's attention to what I will call weightier matters. Instead of ethnicity, instead of religion, talk about the country, talk about the economy, talk about policies, talk about programs. But I tell you, the average Nigerian, at the back of his mind, he wants to look at the candidate and say, which one is my own? I will vote for my own. I hope that one day we'll get out of that mindset. But as of now, it is there. It is there. We cannot run away from it. Unfortunately, it is there.
Well, I will have to leave it there. That's an issue Nigeria will have to deal with. Mr. Femi Adeshina, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll be right back. The media is one of the most important elements of a democratic system. And in spite of its imperfections, the Nigerian media has, at the critical moments, been a factor for freedom and for democracy in Nigeria. But yes, we can get better. We can improve in terms of the quality, professionalism, and the depth of research that the media does. Beyond that, Mr. Adeshina has made a very important point. Ethnic, religious, and other base sentiments prevent us from making the right decisions regarding this country, and indeed impair the quality of the debate we have, especially as we choose our leaders. That has to change, especially as we move towards 2015. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.